gonna get it right one day. Hey, remember how many times you used to do the messages for your voicemail? It goes something like this. What's going on, everyone? Thanks for locking into another episode of I'll Piss You Off Shortly. This is the podcast where we debate everyday issues, pushing your thought process beyond what's normal. The topics discussed here are meant to be intense, promote growth, and at times may have you feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Me too, a little bit. We may not always agree, and we will more than likely have varied opinions. But with that being said, I can't promise to be your favorite podcaster. Neither do I want to. But I can promise to be transparent, fair, and open-minded. So please, if you think you've got the stamina, passion to debate, analyze, and challenge the normal, please take a number. I promise you, I'll piss you off shortly. Hey, mama, I got a podcast. Hey, I got a podcast. Hey, I got a podcast. We are live in effect. Episode 6, Joe.
Yes, sir. 6 in the books. Well, 5 in the books. This will be 6.
5 in the books. But yeah, we're here. Like, it's live. And thank you guys for joining. This is I'll Piss You Off Shortly. My name is Rob, and this is Joe. To my right, your left, everybody. And if you guys would notice, we are remote today. I am actually in Georgia, living my best life, learning as much as I can about financial growth. And yeah, trying to stop answering to the man. So that's
it's a good life.
Like the best life. It's the best life. When I say like the best life, it's just be able to learn how to earn my time back. And not even like back, because you can never get time back, but to have my time and my money work for me. And literally like, I remember hearing even my cousin who's teaching me now as I was younger, we were actually talking about it today, right? If you're able to have your money work for you, earn your time, you have like your time to do whatever, whether that's invest and do whatever. But now I was thinking, we were looking at it today. Tesla, super fire. Super fire. It was at a high ass number, like 1900. It broke like 1900 today. So if we looked at it in 2016, I got a nice little settlement after I got out the military. When my cousin told me about Tesla, if I would have put a fraction of that settlement in, half of that settlement in, I would be a half a millionaire today.
Cool.
That hurts.
Yeah. Regrets.
But it's a learning lesson now. So it just shows me. And then like to go back to it, like seeing this in action. So yeah, like this has been like the best road trip ever. That started just off as helping my cousin move all of his stuff from Connecticut that he's had in storage forever to like down here because he's finally settling down, and seeing what his investments has got him and where it's at. And like, yeah, super dope. Super dope road trip. Coming down here, packed up a big old U-Haul and made our way down, tried to make it a 17-hour trip because it said about 15 and a half. It ended up being a 24-hour trip.
Nice.
Thanks to U-Haul in Hartford because they gave us a truck with bald tires. I'm driving down. We hit West Virginia right before like where West Virginia and Virginia meet by Maryland and shit, because we took 81, which I never took down. I'm always used to taking 95. Super easier way, like F95 south, like go a little bit more west, go down 81. Perfect. But anyways, so as we're driving down the road, boom, big old tire pop. Luckily, it was the right rear inside because of the two wheels.
Yeah.
Big 20. But like even the guy that changed it, he was like, yeah, they definitely shouldn't have never let you take this out. But shout out to West Virginia, because perfect example of defunding the police and allocating funds to somebody else, right? So here we are, blown tire, 2 black dudes in West Virginia with a big U-Haul, right? We're like, in this kind of day and age, what can fucking happen, right?
Yep.
So we pull over, call U-Haul within like 5 minutes. I lied. We pull over, call U-Haul within like 5-10 minutes of us calling U-Haul. A green truck with like red safety, like flashing lights pulls up. We're like, holy shit, that's quick as fuck. No, it wasn't that, right? It was a guy that a mechanic guy that was leaving work, white dude, super like, hey man, how you doing? Like super hillbilly-ish. I was like, hey, I just want to let you guys know I work over there. I got about 6 workers, and I'll give you 25% off, and we'll come get the truck if they want. I was like, holy shit, super nice, right?
Wow.
He was like, I'm leaving. I just got off work, but I'm going home. We'll get you guys situated. I already called them to let them know that you guys are up here. So if U-Haul fails you guys, we'll work something out. So we're like, cool, super dope, right? So in the meantime, in between time, that guy takes off. We're still waiting. Another like white pickup truck with like safety lights is coming down, but he pulls over. I was assuming that he was grabbing tire pieces, which he was, but he was grabbing tire pieces and other things, which is his job, and also to check on broken down lanes. So as he came and checked on us, did his report or whatever the case may be, he was like, hey, I know a couple people, you know what I mean, some truckers out here, or, you know, some shops, give them a call, super nice. And then, so he was a state thing. And I asked him, I said, well, we're used to like a state trooper coming around and like stopping us. And that's what we were scared of. We were like, oh, we just don't feel like dealing with this. They're like, nope. In West Virginia, we have 2 patrol guys. We just pick up stuff off the highway. Like when I say off the highway, semi trucks and everything going by, and he's waiting for a small gap window to run out and grab it. By the way, I got told how much he was paying, how much he was getting paid. Yeah, no, F that. No.
What's he getting?
$11 an hour.
Oh, my Lord.
11 an hour. And it's part-time. Like, yeah, no. Like, no, you can kick rocks for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Wow, that's insane.
But once again, a prime example of allocating funds. It might not be a lot, but it takes away from the police dealing with nonsense guys on the, you know what I mean, dealing with 2 guys on the road of the U-Haul. You know what I'm saying? You're able to, you know, have your state police actually worried about something else and, you know, possible harassment. So kudos to West Virginia and learning how to allocate funds appropriately, the right way. Other people like Connecticut, cough, cough, please take note. Like that was to be super like, and it said just public services. And that was it. We didn't see near a cop. They actually report to the state police and say, hey, this is what's going on. Nothing suspicious. They don't get in your business, nothing like that. So that way the cops don't like, so after they leave, oh, and then another guy came and actually stayed after like his shift was done. Another guy stayed until the tire guy came and fixed everything. So like super, super dope.
Wow, this like New Virginia is amazing.
Exactly.
What?
West Virginia at that. Like New West Virginia.
Oh, West Virginia even. Oh my goodness. So, what did you go through? Like the Democratic part of the
north side,
man. Wow,
the Yankees of West Virginia.
That's a good story, though. That feels promising.
A little bit.
I feel like that story could have easily gone horribly the other way.
Super, super bad. I was like, this is gonna go bad if a cop comes around. Not necessarily like thinking, but it could have. But good thing, you know, good thing for them. It took us 5 hours, halted us for 5 hours. But, you know, other than that, super, super good road trip. We got in at like 7 in the morning. At first, we were like, do we take a nap? And then we were just like, no, literally unloaded the U-Haul and turned it in. And then literally I slept from like Friday to like Sunday. It was just.
So you caught up on sleep. That's good.
Super caught up on sleep. And now like my head's crammed with so much knowledge. So, you know, it's cool. It's a good give and take. But so you driving down here, guess what I realized? Initially, COVID does not exist in the South. Probably about when you get to Virginia. We got into Pennsylvania. That was like our first stop. And we were like, oh, shoot, we forgot we're not in Connecticut. Let's see how this goes. Pennsylvania, everybody's masked up. We were on the side of the road in West Virginia, so we didn't stop. Virginia, we got some more gas. And that's where we realized, like Southern Virginia, that, yeah, they weren't believing in COVID. A lot of people no mask. A lot of people just, you know, disregard super close, tight lines. So, you know, we kind of like waited some periods just to at least go pay. And it was good because you just pay at the machine and just be gone. And then when we got to Georgia, realized that initially, I've been here for a couple of days. Initially, like the first couple of days, I didn't see anybody with masks. And to be honest, it was like a lot of black people, every black person has a mask out here. They're taking COVID serious, but not a lot of the white guys, or a lot of the white people. But now we went a little bit out in public. A lot of the higher end places, they're starting, you have to wear a mask to come in, and they're kind of like not enforcing it, but I lied. Some places are enforcing it, but some other places, like we dipped into a couple like the luxury stores just to see, kind of like a field trip to see, like, yeah, somebody can pay $1,500 for this purse, or you can put $1,500 in the market and then flip that like super quicker. Well, you know what I mean? Or it have a lot more invested. So anyway, so not to get on that tangent, but so we were going there, and like they had masks laid out. You had to spray. Literally people at lines, like standing in lines, because they were like only a certain, they were sticking to like the how many people that could be in the store and stuff like that. So yeah, even the big box stores, they had the security guards with hand sanitizer and, you know, asking people to put a mask on. And I didn't see anybody really not complying. So, you know, at first it was shaky, but now it's starting to seem like they're starting to come around. I asked one of the neighbors, and they were saying that it's starting to turn around. That like before, like 2 weeks ago, you couldn't get anybody to get a mask on. So
can you imagine? It's been 6 months of this crap, and they're just now like, well, fine, okay.
So, but the schools are, private schools are still in session. So I did a morning drive. Just to, you know, just see the neighborhood and stuff, because I wake up early, and I ended up in Silver Spines. Anyways, a very rich, predominantly rich area. And as I'm driving, I'm like, that's a black Tahoe. Where the hell am I? So literally, I look to the left. It's a school. It's like a Catholic private school, and cars on cars. And I slow down, and I look, and the teachers are there with thermometers, and there's 2 lanes. And there's one lane has like a nurse and like kids over there, and then other kids going that way. But I'm like, that doesn't make sense. They've been standing in a line, nut to butt. And what it seems like, there's kids that might have a temperature, and they're now with the nurse. So they've been in line with the other kids. So I don't know, but it looks sick. Like it looks like it takes probably 10 minutes just to drop a kid off. Jeez. Because they were going to like each door. Like they were like, this kid come up, then they would escort. Like it was crazy. So I'm like, if you got to do all that, why not just stay remote? Which I think most of the public schools are remote now. So, but the private schools, yeah, they want their money.
Well, yeah, those private schools don't seem to think it will affect them. I think that's the mindset you're dealing with.
Yeah.
You pray hard enough, God won't let it come to this school. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, you know, because God didn't create COVID, you know. Well, but you know,
that's the conundrum I noticed with a lot of people who are Christian. Is they're like, I'm really hoping God will intervene and Jesus will come up with a cure. And I'm like, who do you think invented it? What? What are you talking about?
Oh man, it's only good for them. It's good for them. You know what I realized? Religion is only good for religious people as needed. Yeah. Like that's gonna be a whole episode. I need a whole episode to talk about that.
Can't wait for that one.
Being forced in the Baptist church, or being forced in the church growing up, period. And then you see the things like the reverend, like the head pastor at the strip club. And then like the next day he's talking about like cheating and, you know, sins of like, you know, misogyny and stuff like that. But you're at the strip club and you were definitely throwing ones, pastor. Yeah. And then just being a kid, like, you know how many girls I made out with in like the back of the pews at church? Like, yeah, definitely not a holy place. Nice. Definitely. And that was the least, you know what I mean? Well, that was the most I did. But that was like the lesser of things growing up, watching kids do. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. I spent 10 years in parochial school growing up. Catholic.
Okay.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Roman Catholic. And I was just telling my wife the other night, I'm still racked with guilt. That was all they did, was beat us with guilt. I was an altar boy. Untouched, mind you.
Good. I was about to say, were you touched?
I got it good. No. They liked me, but not in that way, you know? I was probably more the kid helping them groom other people, if I had to guess.
There
But
you go.
yeah, it was.
Classic.
I was a kid though, Rob. I had a lot of questions. I was a
Okay.
smart ass, and so I like to ask questions, and nobody ever wanted to answer any of my questions. And so eventually, of course, I went out on my own to find the answers, and it wasn't anything they were going to tell me. That's for sure.
Hey, that's
Now
their
I understand their silence. It made a lot of sense.
Hey, that's their fault. They should have, figured it out. I was like that in my quick Catholic school stint. Oh, I think I scarred St. Bernard Academy in Uncasville for life. So shout out to y'all, for raising a beast. But anyways, I wish they would have talking about schools and shit. I hope that now with schools changing and like the way things are structured, I hope the curriculum changes, because being in this position now, and learning the things that I'm learning, like F all the bullshit stuff in class. Like, stop the field trips to the Mark Twain house. Stop the fucking things that really don't matter, and teach me about business. Teach me about things that's going to make me money. Like, at this point, like, I understand why, and just learning from multi-millionaires. When I say multi-millionaires, I'm not talking like 3, 5, 10. We're talking like 2 zeros. And they're like, yeah, the higher education was never meant to really be a thing. It was more of a networking system for the wealthy to be able to, keep everybody else integrated and keep the circle small. And I said, holy shit. He goes, look at it. He goes, look at fraternities and everything else. It's not like it's a public thing. It's all in school and shit like that. It's a networking thing. And they're not going to teach you that. So yeah, they want you to put your money into it. But then you got to put your money into it to get something out of it, right?
Yeah.
But now we talk so much about education and free education and all this, and I'm thinking about all this free game and education that I'm getting. Why by now haven't we all just shared the fucking knowledge that we all have with each other? Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm thinking of I see you, Chris. We'll get to that in a second. But like, I look at it just like kind of Chris said. Now I'm an adult. I'm 32, almost 33 years old, and I'm just learning about financial stability. And when I say just learning, yes, people have mentioned it before, but never produced it in the sense of, yeah, this is what actually comes out of it. Whereas, I'm sorry, in a white household predominantly, or growing up in that wealthy sense, like, they're teaching their kids real quick how to make a dollar. They're starting these kids off, right, how to make a dollar. So yes, I've started mine off already, like off rip before I started mine. So yeah, so that way he's financially stable. But and being able to relate it to a way that we understand. And I think that's the dope thing now about it, especially with like all this time with COVID and stuff, and YouTube and everything else. You're getting a lot of this is starting. I think this is going to be a new Black renaissance, honestly, like a financial renaissance, because I'm learning from a dude. Well, not just a dude, but I one of the videos I watch, his name is literally Wall Street Trapper. Guy did 14 years in prison, like fed time, and taught himself how to trade and day trade. And literally, so his cellmate told him, pretty much summarizing, his cellmate was like, you're doing 10 plus years for a little bit amount of drugs. I'm doing 2 years for 2.5 mil, and I only had to give up 500,000. You're playing the wrong game.
Yeah.
And I said, holy. So he goes, yeah. So yeah, this is my first time offense. I'll get off in like a year. If I get caught again, I'll have to, probably give up another maybe 5 to a mil, but I'll probably make 4 or 5 mil on that. So my family still eats that. And then I'll be out in another 3. So yeah, to sacrifice 5 years. So I'm like, holy shit. And then you look at the crimes, right? So now we have guys, you look at the system, we have guys that are getting federal time, 20 to life for a pound of weed, but we got fucking blue market guys that are evading taxes and everything else, which is the downside of everything else, which I'll tell anybody else before you listen to me on anything investing, pay your taxes first before you pay yourself. That's my little one note. Pay your taxes on all my little small gains. My already taxes out. Like I don't want to hear you. But anyways, so just learning this kind of shit. And it's not, this is stuff that you don't have to wait for until you're 18 to learn. I can literally, which I'll send you the video and I'll post a video on Facebook page so everybody doesn't think I'm bullshitting. There's a 14-year-old, he turned $200 into $78,000 legally.
He didn't learn it from that guy then.
No, he learned it from his mom, and you know what I'm saying? He learned it from his mom and took some and taught himself and just played around with options. So everybody thinks that is just one thing. You put money into stocks and you just watch it go. No. I learned, so I'm a craps player. Do you play craps?
Yeah, who doesn't play craps?
So literally playing craps is literally playing the stock market. And when I say that, when you have options and futures and all this other shit, you're literally just playing the numbers. So breaking it down that way to, you know what I mean, into terms of that I can understand, I was like, holy shit, now I can actually maneuver a little bit. So yeah, anybody that's interested, check out Wall Street Trapper, because I'm not going to hold game. Earn Your Leisure, check those dudes out. Those are the guys that I was forwarded to and have we'll say been inclined to meet. And these guys, multi-million-dollar accounts, like, and with the cash and liquid to match. So it's not just, just bullshit. So I'm like, super dope. So it's dope to learn all that in the business aspect. And I wouldn't be a right businessman if I said, hey, make sure you guys go to www.IPYOSshortly.com and grab you some merch. Some new merch is actually out now. We got some new hoodies up there. If you know how to read, you'll see right there, Pissed Off 15 at checkout for 15% off on any new order. And yeah, go get some merch. You see, I'm not sweating today, right, Joe?
Yes, I do.
This is the time I wish I had my hoodie. I didn't bring my I'll Piss You Off Shortly hoodie. I was like, I'm gonna be in Georgia, and now like I'm not sweating. I'm actually freezing, which actually feels good. It's a good thing, So I wish, I might have to buy myself a hoodie, and use my own code. So you guys go check those out, and we're there. So, oh man, I guess it's time to get into the shits a little bit, right? One thing I was thinking about before we get into, yep, that's racist. I wish, when you were growing up, probably not, but especially in the school system you were in, did you have a hot teacher that you were just like, oh, she's smoking hot? I wish, like, I've been looking, so there was a case in Georgia of a teacher messing with a high school student. And I'm like, damn. First and foremost, where were those teachers at? And then I thought about it. I said, holy shit. Imagine if a teacher made an OnlyFans account. Like, that's a market right there.
Yeah.
A teacher's OnlyFans account? Like, that was just a little sidebar. But anyways, so yep, that's racist. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go into, this is the perfect week of like redemption. I feel, yep, that's racist. Redemption is very key, very, very key, from people getting knocked the fuck out to also like other things happening. So let's start with a racist, and not in the US. This is a British mate, and I wish I had a British accent. Yeah, this asshole standing up. You guys.
Shut your mouth, bro. What's it got to do with a white man?
So apparently he's just harassing these black guys over here, and then the good old allies behind him are actually checking him, just being slanderous. At one point, he actually says, I guess, the British term for the N-word, and it's like, you black, I guess that was the word for, the N-word.
I didn't know they had their own word.
Oh yeah. So, matter of fact, let's see if we can scroll to about 453. it's not even. This is the best part about it. He keeps going on. They keep checking him. They tell him to watch his mouth, and this greatness happens. This should be coming up. So look at him confronting these brothers, making something. Oh! Go to
I
sleep.
didn't know that was coming.
And that's the best reaction. Well done. Well done. Leave him there. Yeah. One more kick for good
Fucking
measure.
racist.
There we go.
You fucking racist. You deserve that.
I mean, flat.
Let's go. That is how you ally people. You don't run up and save them. You sit there and call him for his bullshit, and then you let the workers come deal with it. Put his ass to fucking sleep. Put their ass to sleep. So guess what, racist? If you come with that to me, that's what you can expect. But he knocked him clean the fuck.
Rob, why would anybody run their mouth like that? Why would you run your mouth like that and assume
Because
that you're not going to get your face punched in at the end? Where did that guy think that? How do you think it was going to end?
He must have been used to it. He must have thought that, hey, nobody's going to say nothing. But guess what? You catch the right person, and Buddy in that group that punched, he was the right person. And that's me. I'm going to walk away, and then I'm going to just straight cold cock you one. Matter of fact, if we're going to have Chris on here one episode, and Chris will tell you the story the day I put a titty on somebody's head for calling me a nigger. And we're not doing that kind of stuff. So yeah, anybody that's racist, expect that to happen, especially if I'm around. So London Bridge is falling down. That's what I call that one. Because he definitely deserved that. And I hope that happens to anybody, honestly, that just in this day and age that just decides to be racist. So yeah. You ever watch what is that movie? Billy Madison?
Love Billy Madison. Yeah, great movie.
You remember O'Doyle Rules? O'Doyle Rules.
That's a big joke in my house around here. We do the O'Doyle Rules. Yeah.
Okay. So the next clip of Yep, That's Racist is what I believe the O'Doyle Rules family being racist. So let's just run that tape.
Is that supposed to do something?
Yes, I think it should. Okay, here we go. I forgot. Like, why is it? Anyway, so what happens is it reads 5 charges after racist graffiti found at Covert High School, parts of campus damage. What these guys did, they decided to, I think I might have put the wrong clip. I think I might have sent you the wrong clip. But anyways, these 5 racists and a school decided to literally all over the school put effing niggers all over and didn't think that they were going to get caught. Well, what had happened was, I believe Buddy on the bottom right sent pictures to his girlfriend.
Oh, jeez.
And good old Snapchat brought it to life. So, of course, she put it on Snapchat, the other friends, So, yeah, these assholes. I call these the O'Doyle brothers anyways, just because they all look like a bunch of fucking O'Doyles. But, yeah, so stop thinking that this racism shit is like gone out the window and like y'all are free to do whatever you want, because you're not. Consequences are coming.
I thought you were going to say he got caught because he wrote his name amongst the graffiti, like sort of, like this is my work.
Fingers love Adam. Like, you Adam M, class of 2021, you fucking idiot. Oh man, I could. They look like it. They all look like a fun. And
I want to say, look, in all seriousness, I will tell you this, and I didn't vote for Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
And I really did think, though, after he was elected, I thought, wow, okay, I could get behind a black president. I thought that was cool. A progressive America, that can't be bad. And I did. I believed over the first couple of years, like, racism's probably out the window at this point. I think we're all on. And this just stuff hasn't stopped since then, and it's only getting worse. So where I'm like, oh no, it's even worse than before. Good God.
And you know what's crazy? Like, and it's not just like these are the first, like the only 3 things or only couple things that I find. I have so many racist things in the stash. It's just like, it's so much just to go around and just show everybody that this shit's still alive and this is never going to go anywhere. And honestly, I don't think racism will truly go anywhere, but I think eventually it will hopefully progressively slow down to the point where if you want to be racist in the confines of your own home, by all means, just keep that shit fucking private. It won't be an issue. Like, honestly, I'm sure there's a lot of
religion.
Exactly. Keep that shit in your fucking homes.
You can do that all day at your house.
At your house. And pay taxes too. Because if I see another fucking pastor riding around in the 600 fucking Benz and your congregation is still hurting, 75% of your congregation is below the median average. So, I mean, below the poverty line, like, and still wanting 10% from them. What kind of pimp are you? Like I said, we need a whole episode coming soon. Coming soon. But, so damn it. All right. So this next, last but not least, and yep, that's racist. We're going to go ahead and move on to the golden boy. If I remember this clip the right way, this clip should be of a 75-year-old man thinking that he can pretty much Muhammad Ali something. So yeah, let's see what this does.
Is his last name really Fugazi? That's hilarious.
So I know there's not audio, it's more just like a readable thing. So what happened was a 75-year-old man attacked this kid on the beach in Long Island. If I believe like Glove Coast or Glove Cove. Kids were sitting on the beach. Apparently the guy had asked them if they had lived there. The kid told him to pretty much leave him alone. And then, yeah, this 72-year-old Louis Fugazi, father of Danielle Fugazi, anyways, decided to assault this guy. Guess what? Mr. Fugazi, if you would have put your hands on my son, this would have been a lad. You would have stopped at 72 years old. Like, that would have been your last day on earth. And to leave marks and scratches like that, I don't care how old you are, you would have got knocked out like the first guy. Like that. And I applaud that young man for not pummeling that dude. Like,
that's unbelievable. I mean, again, we talk about this. I mean, as the resident white guy in the show, I got to tell you, this crap blows my mind every time I see it. And I'm sure you're like, man, it's Tuesday. For me to see this stuff, I think to myself, you know me, I'm not a quiet guy by any stretch of the imagination. And maybe because I'm not hateful, maybe I just can't wrap my mind around this. But there could never be a scenario where I would walk up to a group of black dudes or Hispanic and be like, all right, papers. Come on, boys, start panning over. Like, are you're either mentally ill, you're smoking something, or you're so full of shit, it's not even funny. I can't wrap my mind around what's making these people feel the need to do this.
Over land, over you. Literally, you had no choice in where you were born. Just science happened. Your daddy hooked up with your mother. She didn't fucking swallow that night. And guess what? You landed on U.S. territory. What makes you any better than anybody else by the luck of the fucking draw? So it's just like,
Rob, again, not to make this a religious conversation again, but, there are people who think that, Jesus loves the United States. God bless America. And it's like, well, if you've read the Bible, they didn't even know America was around in the Bible. So I don't, you're just sort of making shit up as you go along to make you feel good about yourself. Stop that. That causes tribalism, and that leads to bias, and it leads to racism.
Mhm.
And it's delusional.
Mm-hmm. Believe in somebody that you've never seen in your whole life, that the same book that has been altered every 5 years. But anyways, I digress. I tap out. Followers.
You can't blame. I would say, hold on, too. Tyler just put his quote up. They feel comfortable because of Donald Trump. I think they feel more comfortable. This, and again, as a Republican, this really under Mitt Romney was when the overt dog whistles began. Mm-hmm. This started under Mitt Romney. I'm sure Mitt Romney didn't want this to spiral into Nazis on the streets and Karens all over the place, but this started in the Republican Party. Don't deceive yourself that this came about with Donald Trump, because that is not true. He just took advantage of what he already saw in that party. I checked out at that point, and he took the bull by the horns and rode it to the White House.
And that's exactly what he did. He pulled that demographic and just kept going with it. And honestly, like, I'm starting to kind of see like I don't want to say like racism, but like kind of a split between now the Hispanic Latino. Well, I shouldn't say Latino, because when I don't want to miscategorize anybody, because I know, a lot of people get mad if you call a Dominican Puerto Rican by accident. They get super mad if you call it Puerto Rican, Dominican, or Mexican. Anyway, sorry to all my Hispanic Latino people. All I'm saying is, especially, there's more Hispanic conservatives that are starting to be pulled from this shit. And I'm worried that that's what his next kind of like demo, that he's just going to uproot and lift, because even here. So in Georgia, big Hispanic, Hispanic backing. My cousin's condo was brand new, still getting built. Like a lot of the complexes still, like some of the townhouses are still being built. And I heard some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know a little bit from my experience in New Britain and the bodega, and pretty much there's black guys here. What are they doing here? So it's just like, wow. And just looking at like the way they look at it. So I'm just like, this is sickening. And I never really realized that, like, I should say up north, like, it's all love. Like, we're brown, black, whatever the case may be. And even now, that's a whole new split, because it was just like everybody was brown at one point. It was either black or white. And you know what I'm saying? Not to say like I'm mad at it, but there's a split now, and it's really starting to be shown. You look at from Goya to all the conservatives, Hispanics with Goya, and they're like, yeah, nah, we're not going away from this. Like, we love Trump, especially down like Texas, Arizona, those real deep Southern, like, there's a big demographic that he's starting to pull up. That's not too fond of black people either, which I'm starting to learn. So,
well, look, when you make black people the scapegoat for everything, yeah, it becomes easy to turn other races against it. I mean, I'm stunned again by the idea that there are people who are opposed to equal civil rights. That some people don't think that really is meant for everybody. That's where we are in this country. That there are people who just think like, I don't know, that guy, no, he doesn't get him too. That's what I get.
All just based off like color, like, and miseducation. And when I say miseducation, the fact that, yes, we were taking from a whole different continent, because everybody's like, I'm sick of everybody calling Africa a country. Africa is not a country. And let's not forget that. Like, Africa is a whole fucking continent that has a shit ton of countries inside. So it's just like, we're taken from a whole continent, dispersed everywhere else. So now we have no trace of lineage, culture, anything like that. So now, of course, we have to build our own shit. When we build our own African American culture, it's not the right shit, because you know what I'm saying? We were never brought to be really, you know what I mean, to live into this society and culture only until fairly recently, right? So it's only been 100 years of women's suffrage, right? Listening to Fox News. And True shit. If you listen to like some of their previous things when they're talking about black civil rights and, you know, civil rights and activism, they're like, oh, it was so long ago. Why haven't things changed? You know, I mean, we should, you know what I mean? Things should start plateauing and getting right. And, you know, it's not the 60s and 70s. But when you look at it, it's really not that long. But women's suffrage and voting is 100 years, what, today or yesterday?
Yep.
And Fox News, oh, it wasn't so long. It was just a short amount of time. If you think about it, that's just 2 generations. So even just the way the media portrays it, and I'm not just saying it was Fox, because I'm pretty sure it was other outlets and that, you know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure there's some liberal stations that I've watched that have said kind of the same narrative. But I just noticed it with Fox today as far as them kind of, you know, saying, oh, the women's suffrage movement was not so long ago. We should still remember that. But our suffrage definitely wasn't too long. The 60s and 70s, like, so kind of go fuck yourselves with that. Like, it's, you know, it's weird, you know, even bringing it back down to this investment shit and just financial readiness. Like, we don't get taught, we were taught to idolize. And honestly, I'm not going to say I hate rap music now that I like have my mind open, but if you look at like hip hop culture and stuff like that, and the way it went from really being about the struggle and movement, but then when the money got behind it, and the money is what pushed the fucking image of the big cars and all that. So you have artists and shit that learn all this stuff after they get some money and get a financial advisor. But guess what? We're still talking about owning Bentleys and Range Rovers and Mercedes and stuff like that, pushing that to the younger black generations. So guess what? Literally, so today, go to the mall, and my cousin was like, yo, I want to show you something. So Lenox Mall, anybody that doesn't know much about Atlanta or Lenox Mall, is one of the more high-end malls, right? So I will compare Lenox Mall to West Farms if we do a Connecticut Atlanta comparison, right? So then imagine West Farms on steroids with luxury. So this is a whole nother complex adjacent to Lenox Mall. This has your Gucci, your Louis, your everything in there, your Saks Fifth Avenue. And if you would see the lines, outside of Gucci, and now remind you, one of the stores has Gucci inside the store, and then outside is actual Gucci store. Both lines, the Louis line, like wrapped around. Can you guess what ethnicity was there?
Whites. Really?
Nope.
Really?
Young black people.
Really? Interesting. Just loving the brands, huh?
Just loving the brands. Loving the brands, because you want to know why? This is what I was raised on. Gotta have the bitches, gotta have the cars, gotta have the fly shit. Da, 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 da. But when reality, we've been so far out of paper currency that's all the black mind knows is I gotta work just to get this money. But there's a whole nother that's so far behind. I heard a good comparison, right? So, and this is from 2 black guys. They said, whenever something hits the barbershop, and that's where the black community usually gets their information for the longest, right? Whether it was somebody bringing it down, whatever the case may be, barbershop talk. By the time it gets to the barbershop, you're 2 weeks too late, or you're too late for anything. And what that means is that this information has been already surpassed through other ethnicities and other cultures that are way surpassed us, that it's too late for us to get in. So like, yeah, even though I was lucky enough to have my cousin know about that, but he learned that from somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So like, and it wasn't able to put it into play because he was still learning himself. So he wasn't able to explain it the right way to me. So, you know what I mean? So once again, imagine if I had put just a piece of that, I would be financially set. And these are the things that we don't fucking learn. So it's sickening, and it hurt to like, I wanted just to be like to every young, and when I say young, these are young dudes. And I'm not going to count their pockets. I'm not going to assume or say where they got it, because I know there's a lot of other guys. I met a young day trader earlier in the mall, but he wasn't in the line for Louis and Gucci. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I wanted to be like, dude, like I like you gotta stop the Louis, stop the Gucci, because literally you're what's thriving their economy right now. You're what's thriving their revenue.
You know, it's funny you say that. I actually was on the outside of a conversation today between a late 30s white guy and a mid 20s black guy, and they were talking about their sneakers.
Mhm.
And the white guy's rocking a pair of $30 like Nike running shoes.
Mhm.
And the young black fella, who is not independently wealthy, has like a $130 pair of Air Jordans on.
Yep.
And he was making fun of the white guy. And the white guy was like, well, these were $30 and they do the same thing those do.
Exact same thing.
Just use them to walk around.
And
And it was funny. I say this, the black guy was like, maybe I really ought to like start rethinking my purchases. And I said, I
Super.
think, and I did this when I was a little bit younger. I got into it a little bit. You fall in love with brands and you're trying to, you're buying your $300 Oakley sunglasses and then you lose them 2 days later because you don't wear sunglasses, Joe. Why would you spend that kind of money?
Same.
Yeah, I did it and I didn't buy the insurance. Why would I?
Why would I,
Yeah,
Just
$300 right out
Right.
the window for about a day and a half. And the first day I had those glasses, it was cloudy out.
See?
Oh, yeah.
So like this. So I was thinking about it. And the same thing, like the countless amount of money that I've just blown on shit. So relating it back to that, even I was just big sneakerhead. Like even today, like I was just looking at all these sneakers and I'm like, damn, the sneakers that I would have thought were like dope. I'm like, damn, I might want to get one of these. I was like, yeah, nah, never again. Because literally I would rather, like he said, take my $30 pair of sneakers, take that 120 and then go ahead and buy, I think Nike is around like 100 right now. Go buy a share of Nike stock and then watch how that just matriculates. Like at this point, like, yeah, definitely on that. Even now, like I was looking at kids' clothes because I was in the Vans store, right? And I was explaining to my cousin, like, I love Vans because they're $60. I can wear them everywhere. They're super comfortable. And, they still kind of look good and they always come out with dope styles, right? But I was like, and I love them for Donnie because we used to get them like the Nike Air Maxes because they were a little bit cheaper than getting Jordans and stuff like that. But at daycare, they drag their feet all day and those shoes would come back torn apart.
Oh yeah.
So like my return on investment was trash on that. So now guess what? I spend $30-$40 on a pair of Vans. Donnie can go kick mud, drag his feet all over, throw them in a wash, and I'm good. So, even now, like thinking about what I'm buying and stuff like that, if I think about when I was younger, how many times did a $125 t-shirt get me some action? No, it wasn't the t-shirt, buddy. It was the game. Like it was, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't the $200 pair of Jordans. It was, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't that. It might have grabbed their attention, but outside of that, it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah.
And when you're sitting there physically seeing somebody go, yeah, I have on the same pair of shoes that I've had for like the same 2 years. I wear the same sweatpants because I'm not going to work. I work for myself. And look at this dope ass watch. I didn't buy it retail. I got, what I'm saying? Not saying I have it, but he didn't buy it retail. He bought it for sale and it's tripled in value. So you're like, damn, I really got to rethink the things that I'm purchasing and why am I purchasing it? And what is it really like? How can I justify it? So yeah, like this growth and financial wealth is like super dope. Like I can't wait. I can't wait to see just the return. And it's just my thinking in line just with I guess like adulting now. Like, yeah, like frivolous purchases, definitely not happening anymore.
I'll tell you about a relative of mine. I don't want to give any more details than that.
Gotcha.
But he lived with his parents until he was like 28. Had a pretty menial job, but he was selling weed.
Mm-hmm.
And when he finally moved out of his parents' house, him and his piece of crap car and his not fancy clothes, he had like 80,000 in cash to put down on his first home.
There you go.
And I have to give him a lot of credit for that, because there's if you're gonna sell the weed, usually you're turning around, right? You're buying Jordans with those.
Exactly.
You're getting the money. You're not really thinking about putting that money away or doing anything for tomorrow with it.
Exactly.
And I gotta give this person credit, because that was not a smart thing to do, obviously being an illegal occupation, but people were shocked that he was a dealer, because he was like the least flashy guy around. And he was loading up, investing in real estate, always a good move. And
fuck yeah. So. And that's how, so I was looking back to my Tesla head knocker, right? So as we were walking down Peachtree. So, we got a bunch of nice like townhouses that are like 1.2, 1. So he was like, so he was explaining to me, he said he just bought his townhouse, and the price that he paid for it, which is up there. Well, not up in the millions, but it's a nice. But anyways, he was saying I could have purchased 2 townhouses at a 10% down payment, literally lived in like a decent apartment by now, and literally had the $600,000 things, written them out, and been good. Yeah. I was like, that hurts. That fucking hurts. Like, oh, that hurts. So anybody,
well, I'll tell you something else. I will tell you this. I'm 45. You're 32. 10 years ago, 12, between 12 and 11 years ago, I was pretty broke.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty broke. And I will tell you, in the last 11, 12 years, I am financially secure now. Mm-hmm. And I guess my point is, it's never too late to start.
Too late.
It's never too late. I mean, it's funny. I didn't even have the 401k until I think 2012. And there's a whole ton of money in there. I just had to pull some out recently for something that I was doing. It's nice to know that there's we can just grab this money from somewhere else whenever we need it. Like, exactly. That is that's the way you want to live. I mean, I'm not rich, but it's been a long time, Rob, since I couldn't fall asleep at night because I was worried about paying bills.
Gotcha.
Or I was so concerned about how I was going to pay for my home next month that I couldn't sleep. Like, those days are over. It's a better life that way when you're not always preoccupied with doom. So there's never a better to start when you're younger, but
yeah, and I will say that way. Yeah. So I'm but I'm 12 years removed. No, 14 years removed from my cousin that I'm learning from now. So it's just like, yeah, he's like, yeah, by the time his thing has been like, buy Apple stock and then talk to me in 10 years. So I guess leaving this kind of portion of the segment, I will say, from what I learned to share to anybody that has not gotten into investing, everybody has Cash App. Cash App has an investing portion. So if you have anything right now, go ahead and just try it out. Put in an Apple stock and leave it alone. Just do that, because I'll tell you right now, I saw between the 2 trades, I lost on 3 trades, but the 2 trades that I gained on covered those other 2 trades, and it didn't fucking matter. And then my Apple stock super fucking gain. So I was at collectively a 38% gain today.
That's great.
So I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And that's with 2 losses. Well, 3 losses. So yeah, anybody that's scared or just, wants to be able just to kind of jump in and then kind of wade in the water for a little bit, look up what a split is, look up Apple, and buy some Apple stock, and you'll thank me later.
You know, it's so true now too, Rob, because you know, the idea of working for the man for 30 years and then retiring on your pension is no longer the reality that this generation or the ones coming up behind us are going to get to enjoy. So you're going to want to do something for yourself so that when you're older, you're not worried about, you know, what's going to happen to you.
Exactly. And I'm so glad I started my journey, and I'm super hype. Like, we're gonna progressively talk about this more and more, because I'm probably gonna pick your brain too, because like, and then I learned about options the other day, and that's like a whole.
There's so much out there.
Oh my!
There is so much opportunity and so much money to be made. You just have to find the right, what works for you. And you know, I remember too, you know, hearing some years ago where some guy was like, you know, with like $3,000, I started a business, and like, where am I gonna get $3,000 from, you son of a bitch? You can pretty much get started with, like, if you got $50. You can start, you know, you can already start making some moves, which is amazing. And you take, you know, what little money you do start to make at first, you know, don't buy Jordans.
Exactly. Don't buy Jordans. Take that return and drip those gains right back into flooding it, and like, don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Be patient. And eventually you can buy all of the Jordans.
All of the Jordans you want. And then at that point, you're not going to. What's that?
That's a better way to buy.
Yeah.
You probably won't want them at that point, but the thing is, you can get them, and it won't set you back much.
All right, all my listeners, because you guys are here first. If you have, I'm telling you right now, I'm not no expert. I'm learning myself. But if you just want just a hint of the information that I got to get me hooked and realize that retail is bullshit, and that you can really, really set yourself up for, because I know I have so many friends and stuff that really don't understand. Like, and some of my friends that are up there doing, you know, that are making that kind of money the other way, I send it to them automatically. Like, this is somebody you can relate to. He's gonna show you what the right way, and take that money that you're doing and make this legit. So that's my spiel on financial wealth, learning financial freedom, because I'm learning myself. Don't take anything that I say right now with this like legal disclaimer. Like, I'm not a trader, nothing like that. I'm just hype about the shit that I've learned, because it's tried and true. And then when you sit there and pull up to like a 2.3 fucking mansion, and you see that the car in there is a fucking 2003 fucking Toyota Camry, you're like, I get it. Or he's like, yeah, I have this 2013 Mercedes-Benz CS 550, but guess what? I got it at a discount and it's paid for now. So you're like, yeah. So like, you feel a little bit better when you're sitting in a paid off fucking Benz, and like big ass Benz, and like this Lamborghini pulls up truck next to you, and you're like, yeah, I know you didn't buy that. I know you didn't like, that's leased, and that's just money you wasted. Like, you're just like, yeah, F all that. Like, yep. I'm totally cool. Like, give me my Honda and a big ass, like, the dude's like, my buddy said it the best. He was like, oh, it's better just to have just dope shit. That he was like, have you ever been able to just show one of your friends a painting that you bought for like $3,500, and then 3 years later it's worth like $100,000? I said, damn.
Wow.
I said, dude, that's different. That's fucking different. A painting, like, yeah. Yeah, when you actually see that kind of shit, it opens your eyes. So I'm definitely going to be looking. I think that's going to be, as I learn, I'm going to be looking into like teaching other, you know, especially youth and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's crazy. So once again, I'll do a nice shameless plug, because I feel it's important. If you want to start getting like investment tips and shit like that, learn from the guys that I'm learning from, especially online. Even though I'm learning from people in person, but Trapper, Wall Street Trapper, and Learn Your Leisure. So that's my last little shameless plug on that. As far as earning, I guess we'll go into these politicians. Oh no, earning, earning humorous or non-humorous jokes in these politicians. I guess we'll start with Pence. Yeah,
real quick. Before I saw tonight's show, I all I could think was, if I make one suggestion to Rob, it's going to be Mike Pence and the idiotic thing that he said. And I was so pleased when I went in to see it there.
Yes.
Because, they make fun of Biden and Trump for their lack of cognitive abilities. But, boy, this guy.
One, this takes the cake. Let's just show you guys what Mr. Bell Pence. Pencil Pence. I'll call him Pencil Pence. Had to say.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris would bury the economy under an avalanche of red tape, more regulation, and more bureaucracy. In fact, the California senator that he named as his running mate this week said during her short campaign for president that Americans needed to be, and I quote, educated about the effect of our eating habits on our environment.
You notice how nobody even wants to fucking acknowledge that shit?
Said she would change the dietary guidelines of this country to reduce the amount of red meat Americans can eat. I've got some red meat for you.
You dirty.
We're not going to let Joe Biden and Kamala Harris cut America's meat.
You fucking dirty dick.
So much to unpack there.
First and foremost, can we talk about, before we get to the nastiness of him and his small fucking red meat, little fucking, anyways. First of all, did we notice how scared Pence looked in that video?
Yes.
Like, he looks super scared. I don't know if it was that, like, he didn't know how the jokes are going to play out, or if he just, like, I think he's legit scared of fucking Kamala Harris. I think
listen, may I? Here's my thought. A couple of things. Number one, I agree with you. I think he's definitely scared. And I definitely think that he thought that, I think because he was doing all this. I don't know what that was.
He was trying to pander.
Also, and this is an unsubstantiated allegation that I'm making right now, but tell me that guy's not gay. Tell me he's not closeted gay.
Which is okay.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, clearly, but be yourself, Mike. I think it's going to be all right. I've got your meat right here. I don't even know if he heard himself as he was. I think he thought that you're not going to cut America's meat. What the hell? Can you imagine him and Kamala Harris debating when you're
October
talking about
7th.
a guy, you're talking about a man who thinks that Adam and Eve lived with dinosaurs. She is going to beat the shit out of that guy.
Oh, it's coming so hard, and I can't wait. That's funny. It's coming so hard. Anyways, the time is coming so hard that Kamala's gonna chew him up and spit him out. Like, it's sad when your running mate, the president, when Biden is scared of fucking his VP. So you already know, like, Pence has nothing. You're in Utah, like, trying to talk this or wherever he was at. And, like, the crowd's not feeling you. The crowd, like, I'm pretty sure that was one of your fluffers starting the boo chant, and you got 2 or 3 people to follow along. They were probably asleep trying to just figure out what the hell was going on. And he couldn't even get the joke out right because his meat. What's sad is he knows that Kamala Harris has a white husband, and he thinks that his red meat can hold up. Sorry, bucko. First and foremost, buddy, her husband has super style, and I've seen his dance moves from one of the conventions. Pence, we know you don't have it, and I'm pretty sure you don't have anything bigger than the pinky. Once you go black, you never go back. So you might want to watch what the fuck you say, Pence. I go find 2 of these ATL shorties back here and put it on you, Pence. You wouldn't know what to do. And I kind of low-key think that he probably kind of has an affection towards Kamala Harris. Because let's not get it twisted. She is an eye catch a little bit. So he probably goes home thinking about her in other ways than one, as we can see.
I think he goes home and he's more concerned about Doug. I'll be quite honest. I'm thinking.
He probably wants her for style. He probably wants her like, I wish I could dress like that. Like, she's so stylish. Like, and he can't, and like, that's what you come up with. Like, you try and like embarrass somebody and you say, oh, I've got your red meat. Like, fucking get your red rocket the fuck out of here. Why? And that's what I'm like, I'm sorry, Joe, but like, why do old white guys have to be so creepy? Not saying you're an old white guy, just like
I'm gonna try not to be one. I tell you that. I know I'm aging closer to it, but I'm gonna try not to. I'll tell you what. I'm just not gonna touch people. I think that's also key.
Stop. Stop sniffing people. Stop offering red meat. Stop offering to grab people by the pussy. And this is the hand that we're dealt with as America right now. So do you see why America is so important to go ahead and vote? I know we have nothing but creeps in our hands. And I know track records aren't the best. But I'm sorry, one side is going to lead us to making change versus the other side. So, like, I'm going to leave it like this. If I become single and Trump's in office, that just lets me know that women don't care getting grabbed by their pussy. And it just sets a bad precedent. And, if people start grabbing people by the vagina and you voted for Trump, I don't want to hear your sexual allegation claims. I said it. If you vote for Trump, I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. If you vote for Biden, you won't necessarily have to worry about it because Kamala Harris is going to keep him in check. So, but like Creepy Joe, you notice he's gotten a little bit less creepy. He's gotten a little bit less creepy.
Yeah, they were like, stop sniffing people.
Exactly.
I take
a sniffer. I take a sniffer rather than a grabber, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because like if somebody smells good, you just fucking smell good, but you don't have to be a creep and like sniff their hair like dude off of Charlie's Angels. So, fucking weirdos.
Last thought on Pence, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Basically it's stupid Kamala Harris wants you to eat better. What a bitch.
She
wants you to eat less red meat so you don't have a heart attack. What a bitch. We'll stick that red. Okay, buddy. Calm down.
Calm down.
Really?
Like that. And that out of everything, that's what you choose to talk about is red meat. Like there's so much like, oh my God. And sorry, Kamala Harris, that, you're making us, healthy and living longer. And, it's that, fucking asshole. Like, oh, who is she? Like, who is she? I can't wait till she becomes VP. So then I can just, I watch all these white guys just shiver. Just like the thought of them like shivering at Michelle Obama, like now this is even better. So good luck. Good luck. But I will say this though. I think I'm not starting, but I might be a little conservative now that I'm learning all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, like, so as I was figuring out like how to do taxes and shit like that real quick, I was like, damn, this sucks. Imagine if I really hit like something good, I'm giving up a huge ass fucking percentage. And it's like, damn.
Oh, come on, Rob. Rob, let me tell you something. Can I explain myself before you go on for a second?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I was a Republican, a conservative Republican for a long time in my life because, and I think this is true of many Republicans, you believe someday you're going to be a millionaire and then you're going to have to pay all that tax money out. And so now you don't feel right about taking. There was a time, like I said, a dozen years ago, I should have been on welfare. I wouldn't do it. I was too proud. And I should have been on it. And I would have deserved it. But I didn't want to do that. And I think that's the mindset of a lot of conservatives, that their day is coming. And when they get that money, they don't want to have to share it. I figured I would get more conservative with age and more conservative with the more money I got. And I find I'm way more liberal than I've ever been before, and I give my money to charity mostly because my wife makes me, but at a pretty serious clip.
Yeah.
I never wanted to be that guy.
And I'm not talking about like, so let me kind of rephrase it. So like I thought about it. I was like, that's a big chunk of taxes. You know what I'm saying? Just in general, like, but then I said, I would rather, for me, if I actually make it, pretty decent, instead of giving this money to taxes that definitely just gets lost in the sauce. And we truly, you know what I'm saying? Like we truly don't know what the fuck happens. There's no accountability to it. I would rather go ahead and instead of taking most of that, like, and put it in my own shit. So if I want to go ahead and put a school together or a fund together to go ahead and educate fucking kids on whatever I'm doing to build, you know what I'm saying? Certain things like that. And of course, I'm sure I will grow as my tax bracket increases and grow in knowledge as far as like how I can, make my, contributions and donations and shit work for me. But at that point, I'm just like, damn, like, I was listening to one of them, one of the guys, and he said he had took a pretty book, cut his one of his options short before his strike price hit, because it was well above his strike price way before he had his 2 years on his option, and he was like he just didn't want to pay any more taxes. He was like he could have made more money, but he didn't want to pay more taxes because it was literally just his take was going to shorten.
Yeah,
and then his taxes were. So I was like, that's crazy. He said, whereas literally if he was going to be able to take his money and be able to diversify it and like put it into something else and actually contribute to society instead of this politician gets 20%, this, like it's just bullshit. But I would want to help. And I think I will definitely be at that point where I'm helping everything. But yeah, like I understand why they're like, yo, don't tax me at the same tax rate as somebody else, because you tax me at 30%. My 30% is way more than the other person. Like, let me put 20% of this into something else that's going to actually generate, something positive for the community and, grow, some kind of educational value or value into the community instead of trusting you guys to do it the right way. But then, everybody's going to say, well, why don't you go into politics and all that other shit? But no. Anyways, I guess speaking into politics, did you catch the DNC last night?
No,
I was supposed to too, so I caught the highlights. And shout out to Michelle Obama for a very beautiful speech. Of course, lead it to one of the Obamas, which I'm surprised that Barack has not really stood up yet. Maybe it might be for the big, you know what I'm saying? But it was good to see Michelle lead a little bit. So, and it gives me hope now that I saw Michelle lead. So maybe his endorsement definitely his endorsement is coming soon. And I think after that, we should hopefully see people start to fall in line, even though, especially of the black people, I need y'all to stop like being so. I hate that. I don't know, like in the black community, like we're so forgiving, but then we hate our own so easy. So like everybody's like, I see so many people hating on Kamala Harris, but I'm like, what other fucking choice do you have? But anyways, I think it's going to be good. It wasn't too much. I honestly thought that it was going to be a lot more in depth and that they were going to kind of get into the shits, like come out with a bang, but they didn't really lead into much. And Biden's little public, he had a little public, what is it? I don't want to say public hearing, but little open session with, voters just asking questions. And literally, I wasn't a fan of how he answered a lot of them. It was just very open, and he really stuck to the same black demographic and talking about BLM and all this other shit. So it's just like, all right, buddy, like, I know we're getting our feet wet. I know we got like 3-4 more days of this shit, or 3 more days of the DNC. So like, let's come out with more fire than that.
Do you think that Joe Biden, having decided previous that his running mate would be a woman of color, do you think that was poor to announce that ahead of time? Would it have been better if he would have said, I'm considering everybody, and maybe privately focused on just black women? Because, to hear Donald Trump's idiotic comment, of course, that white men should be insulted. Did you hear that, by the way? White men should be insulted that they weren't included in the Democratic vice presidential running mate.
Poor white man.
Yeah, and it's like, well, but what about the other 3 spots that are like way old white guys? I think as a white guy, I'm going to forgive the Democrats because they were like, you know what? 3 out of 4 old white dudes. Yeah. How about a black woman? Okay. I can go. I'm not insulted by that at all.
It's just, and that goes to his just idiocracy and racism. Like, racism again. Like that just shows, and everyone's like, he's not like that's super fucking racist.
Well, sure it is. And again, it's that right. The idea of like it's reverse racism because they picked a black woman. And let me tell you something: the two black women they were choosing between, Susan Rice and Kamala Harris, both have tremendously amounts more experience than that imbecile in the White House does.
Exactly.
So
way more.
This is my other problem when and this happens a lot where and it's a shame that in 2020 we're still seeing this where you know you might see the first black owner of a sports franchise or the first black secretary of the treasury or whatever it might be, that there's constantly always these new firsts, and of course there's always some douchebag that's like
just wants to take away.
It's a black guy qualified. As if they just started handing out high-ranking jobs to any old black guy that wants one. Give me a break.
But he was super qualified to begin with. No, he was probably one of the least qualified people to run, and as we've seen. So because she's a black woman, fuck out of here. They obviously have not been around a black woman that has had to do anything in America. I'm sorry. You find me a black woman that can raise a household better. You find somebody that can raise a household better than a black woman. And I say that because guess what? Historically, my mom had to raise, well, first and foremost, let's figure it out. My aunt raised me along with my mom while I was living with my aunt, a college professor, single mother single parent household. And then my mom, 5 children, raising her by themselves, still continuously raising after my dad passed away. So not to say that white women can't or any Hispanic women can't. I will say ethnic women of culture, of color, are some bomb-ass fucking people to run some shit. I'm sorry. Even when I was in the military, I wasn't scared of my sergeant major. I wasn't scared of my fucking first sergeant. I was scared of any black woman that had some rank. You want to know why? Because she had a chip on her shoulder and she had something to fucking prove and she was about her fucking business. So I take the black woman over the white man any day. I'm sorry. Ovi, let's see here. So how many white people in this check? Let's see that. Exactly. And honestly, the same white people have been in office and nothing has changed. So what makes them qualified?
Right.
So what is it? Insanity is doing the same shit, over and over again, expecting the same results. Y'all are fucking insane. You're not fucking smart. You're fucking insane.
Do you remember about a year and a half ago when the idea of Oprah Winfrey running was being floated and being seriously floated by people? And I actually went on the record as having said, if Oprah runs against Donald Trump, I'm voting for Donald Trump. And the reason I would do that, given the choice between a talk show host from Chicago and the president of the United States, who will at least have had 4 years in office, how I would be an idiot to vote for Oprah. And again, you know me, Republican. I voted for Hillary Clinton because the alternative was an imbecile who had never held any elected office in his life. Never. I'm sorry. I'm never going to vote for somebody who has no idea how to do the job. I don't care who it is. I don't care how much I like him. I like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as much as the next guy, but fuck that. People stop with that bullshit. The Rock can't be the president. He's a great dude, and he'll put the smackdown on some candy asses. I get that, but that guy can't be the president. Go be the mayor of Miami for 4 years. Tell me you know how to run some shit. Yeah. Anything. Rob, I would take anything. Anything at all. Anything. I don't know. Be like the fucking treasurer at the Elks Club for a year. Just some experience like that. You understand how to conduct business in like a political setting.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do.
Exactly. So yeah, I think, and even then, I think I mentioned it like a couple podcasts ago, like if Michelle Obama needs to run, I was like, yeah, no. I started thinking about that and I was like, yeah, no. Like, no, even then as the first lady, it was more of a celebrity. Well, not a celebrity figure, but you know what I mean? It was, she wouldn't have been great.
I love Michelle Obama.
Love her to death.
Michelle Obama can't be president.
And you can lock me in a room with Michelle Obama, too.
Look, if Michelle Obama, if she wants to go run for Senate, spend some time, go get a Secretary of State, Treasury,
Yeah.
whatever job, and you wanna work through the ranks and be the president when you're okay. I can
By
get
all
behind
means.
that. I like Michelle Obama, but just because you were in the White House and you could speak on camera doesn't make you Donald Trump's proven it.
Yeah.
Just because you can speak in public does not make you presidential. It just doesn't. It's a tough job to do. I don't envy anybody that has to do it. Not an easy job, but this guy's doing it worse than anybody in the history of this country.
But he's the greatest president ever, the greatest to ever do it. Oh, why can't he catch corona? Jesus. I didn't say die either, people. I said catch.
I don't know if you're looking in the comments now. It's broken out into literally now we're imagining what it might be like if The Rock was the president of the United States.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a great scenario for sure.
That is
can you imagine if Putin called and The Rock's like, who's this? And Putin's like, it doesn't matter what you're, oh my God. I would want to watch, I would watch C-SPAN 24/7 just to see what's happening at the White House.
You know what? Now, I think I might vote for him because at this point, it couldn't be any worse. Like, it couldn't be any worse. Like, I'm sorry. It couldn't be. That would be funny. Or like, and then Stone Cold Steve Austin as like a Secretary of Defense.
Oh, that would be great.
Like,
yeah, I could get behind that.
So cool with that. That's funny. By the way, if you guys are actually loving this WWE talk, I believe it's it's Ovi. And then also we have let me make sure I get everybody right there because this is all CMG family, right? So we have Ovi, go ahead in the comments. Leave me. I can't remember. You should know. What's the name of this podcast show?
He's on the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show. They
right.
mostly do. They cover like WWE, which is awesome. And then Tyler, who also chimed in, is on a show with his buddy Noah Cross. It's called Cross and Wrestling Entertainment. They cover AEW, which apparently people are really into these days too.
Heck yeah, I've been looking at, especially Tyler's. I was about to say Tyler's next. His podcast is great. Their podcast is great, and I've been meaning to check out Ovi's. I haven't been so much into wrestling as much as I was probably like 20 years ago, but definitely between Ovi's post and the Tyler's, the actual podcast, like anybody, go ahead, check them out. CMG, they're part of the CMG family. I've gotten back into wrestling just because of them. So yeah, definitely go check them out.
They've been all breaking my balls. They want me because I was too, dude. I mean, I grew up on like Tito Santana and the Junkyard Dog. Like, I love that stuff. And then I got back into it in like right around 99 to 2000 when The Rock and Stone Cold were blowing up.
Yep.
And I really haven't been as into it. And these guys killed. They want me to come on there and do some wrestling talk with them. And I keep the problem is, and this is what they don't understand, I'm 45 years old. Okay? My wife controls what we watch. So there's not a whole lot of extra time for me to get shit in there. And then when I do, it's got to be stuff I love.
Exactly.
I don't have a lot of time for it. But I've been trying to work a little more to WWE back into my life.
Dabble here and there. I didn't realize that there were like so many different they're gonna get me, but so many different wrestling brands now. Yeah. Instead of I think I probably stopped watching just after WWE switched from WWF. So
okay. Yeah,
I was like
out of the loop for a while, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, this is when Brett Olsen, the Olsen brothers were like my favorite little duo. Brett not the Olsen twins. Jesus, Brett the Hitman Hart.
Oh
That's
my
how
God,
much
the
I've been
Olsen
out.
twins. Yeah,
I said the Olsen twins. The Hart brothers,
You're
right?
It was Owen Hart. Brett and Owen.
Like I remember watching Owen Hart die.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like so. You guys they're gonna have to get me on the show or something at some point, like so I could just get like.
I'm sure they'd love to have you. Also, since that time, there's been like another 20 wrestlers dead. That's been there's been a lot of that kind of going on. Unfortunately, where we've seen and all young, all in their like late 40s, 50s, and 60s. These guys, and in some cases they've taken their life. It's been sad.
Jeez, damn, that's sad. That's tough. I know what Chris Benoit Was that another one?
That's a great example. Murder, suicide, even. Poor guy.
Fucking crazy. So hey, matter of fact, I see. I'm starting to see in the comments now. Everybody dropping. If you're listening, drop in your favorite wrestler, and we'll see what goes on with that. But yeah. So that was a nice little tangent right there. A little wrestling tangent. I like that.
Isn't it fun to talk about stuff that
you just love?
You know what I mean? Just like stuff you grew up on, stuff from like the past. I lived in Portland, Maine from 2000 to 2004.
Okay.
And I'm a huge Yankees fan. That's like I love watching Yankee games. It's one of my favorite things to do. I know some people think baseball's boring, whatever. I was in Maine. I watched a lot of Red Sox games, don't get me wrong, and mostly because I knew they would do highlights of the Yankee game at some point. But while I was there, somebody turned me on to wrestling, and I was like, I haven't watched wrestling in years. And oh my God, it was so great. It was so good.
Oh, See, I went to one time when I was in upstate New York. There was like a backdoor wrestling shit. And it was like, we went into like the back of the building. And it was like super dope. Super, super cool. Like all like amateur wrestlers and shit. But that was 15 years ago? No, I'm not going to age myself that, but shit, maybe like 12. Jeez, not too far off. Well, yeah, good old days. I remember.
I actually went to a WWE event in 2002. That's how into it I got. A buddy was like, hey, they're coming to the Cumberland County Civic Center. And I was like, let's go.
See,
yeah.
I went to, I think it was Raw at the Civic Center when it was the Hartford Civic Center, not the XL Center. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
Now you're dating yourself.
Super dated. Well, in that case, let's go ahead and damn. This is probably the fastest.
No, it feels like it. It's been an hour and a half, Rob.
Damn. That's crazy.
This feels like it went quickly, didn't it? But it definitely didn't. No.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'll say this, man. I appreciate the love. Like I didn't realize, like, I know we're starting to get like a couple of those regular listeners and stuff, but like even I'm starting to learn that I have to go into the comments after the show, because just like you brought up, the comments are super dope. It's super engaging. So I love everybody that's engaging into this. Please, if you guys like these episodes, please like and share. I'm going to say that I'm not closing out yet, but like, please like and share, and just get this going, because CMG, we're growing, you guys. And I want everybody just to get all these blessings and this content that we're all getting you. We're just not the same podcast either. We're not just like anybody else. We have a mix of everything. And when I tell you, even then you're just talking, and I'm going to keep plugging my CMG family in. I'm going to say hands down, we probably have some of the best murder mystery podcasts in the game. So if you're into like thrillers and like murder mysteries and solving murder mysteries, go ahead and just go see. What's the name of the new one we just have on, Joe?
The new one is called Crime and Consequences. It's number 4 on Chartables. They've pretty much, since they launched, have been in the top 10 for iTunes true crime. Yeah, Ivy League Murders is the other one we have, and then My Wife's Own Sticky Beaks. Which,
Sticky Beaks, I love.
I mean, I'll tell you, those 3 podcasts are killing it. I mean, just literally killing it. And it's funny. I mean, to see where these shows are all big. They're the podcasts all do well, obviously in the United States, but also Australia,
nice, New
Zealand, Canada, and the United Kingdom, where apparently there are nothing but Karens everywhere who are eating this stuff up for breakfast. I mean, these women just absolutely love their true crime, and it's a great genre. But we have so many great shows on this network, this one included. I love being on this show. This is one of my favorite ones to be on and to produce. A, because you're awesome, and B, I just love everything we talk about on this show.
It's so much fun. Like even more, and now that I'm getting like the hang of it, it's getting just more and more fun. Like I'm starting to find like that, not necessarily like it's news, but it's not like CNN or just even like the other news podcasts, but it's just really what we wanted, like when we first started this, just raw, uncut, unfiltered, just having fun and real in-depth conversation. So I'm glad that this has come out phenomenally. I'm glad that everybody's loving this and sharing. Remember, share, like, comment. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Eventually I think I'm going to try and get a Twitch going, because apparently like that's where you can really just get some shit off. And not have to worry about certain things. But that's
by
eventually.
the way, we're live on YouTube tonight as well as on Facebook for the first time.
That's right. I forgot that little 24-hour hold that they had me on. So yeah, I'll piss you off shortly.
Also, hold on, my dumb ass. When we started the show, the first few minutes, we were actually only live to YouTube. A new setting I had to learn, so that's my bad.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. Luckily, we won't have like millions of viewers and listeners yet. Like, where were you guys?
Eventually, there'll be millions in the when that happens. But we're learning now.
It's definitely gonna happen, because all of these investments I'm gonna just keep dumping into myself. So eventually, as you guys travel down 84, 95, and all these other highways, you're just gonna see I'll piss you off shortly on every damn banner you guys can. Like, it's things are in the works. So good things. So I guess as we close out, we'll go ahead and put what I think is in rotation, in loving memory of Nipsey Hussle Victory Lap. It was his birthday 2 days ago, and I will definitely say Victory Lap was probably one of the most prolific albums of 2018 when this came out. For all those that aren't familiar with Nipsey Hussle, West Coast rapper, California, from the Slauson Crenshaw area of LA, super dope into investing, cryptocurrency, real estate, but then also just dope rapper. And when I say dope rapper, he's not just talking about not owning things, superficial things, really, and stuff like that. He's talking about how to make your wealth grow, how to actually build your own, your own legacy, your own financial wealth, generational wealth, and just how he grew up and how to like make shit better. So Nipsey Hussle, definitely dope. Go check that out, Victory Lap. This is in remembrance of him, as he was murdered not too long afterwards. His album came out, unfortunately, and just a pillar in his community. Super dope. So for all those that are uncultured, go check out Nipsey Hussle Victory Lap, and I promise you'll love it just as much as I do. So with that being said, you guys don't forget also I don't know where my phone is. 860.
Do you need the phone number?
There we go.
All you have to do is say, "What's that phone number?"
And the
producer guy just makes it pop up on the screen. I gotcha.
You got always there. See, Joe's got me. 860-342-8711. I'll piss you off shortly. The hotline. I believe 2 people tried to leave a voicemail, or it might have just been the same person, but I think they messed it up. So if you did call and that was you, I wasn't calling the number back, but definitely try again. It was like just super staticky. So yeah, try again if you left a voicemail last week. If you didn't, go ahead and give that number a call, 860-342-8711. Let me know if you liked this episode. Let me know if you didn't like it. Let me know if I pissed you off shortly. Yeah. As for me, Rob Benjamin, that's Joe Aguirre. This is I'll Piss You Off Shortly. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you next week. Take it easy.
I'm gonna get it right one day. Hey, remember how many times you used to do the messages for your voicemail? It goes something like this. What's going on, everyone? Thanks for locking into another episode of I'll Piss You Off Shortly. This is the podcast where we debate everyday issues, pushing your thought process beyond what's normal. The topics discussed here are meant to be intense, promote growth, and at times may have you feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Me too, a little bit. We may not always agree, and we will more than likely have varied opinions. But with that being said, I can't promise to be your favorite podcaster. Neither do I want to. But I can promise to be transparent, fair, and open-minded. So please, if you think you've got the stamina, passion to debate, analyze, and challenge the normal, please take a number. I promise you.